Hello everyone and welcome to sunny California for round 2 of season 3 of AOR's IndyCar League here on Project Cars 2. I'm your commentator, H Racing Green, and we have our qualifying session underway. 10 minutes of action to start off proceedings this evening as the cars head out on track straight away. They're going to want as much track time as possible here. Laguna Seca, of course, an iconic circuit for both car and bike racing. It is 10 or 11 corners, depending on the track map you look at, of extreme speed, lots of fast-flowing, high-speed corners, but you will want a lot of downforce, because the straights between them are not very long, and it's all about carrying as much speed as possible through those corners. So let's ride on board then. It's a gonna gamble here in the number 19 car as he heads towards the iconic corkscrew on his outlap. I want to see. Let's take a look at the map as well and the speeder. Let's get some telemetry going. As he comes towards the final corner then to begin his lap, he's going to back off. There's a car in front of him. Through this 90-degree left-hander, he's going to want to power out of the corner along this start-finish straight. They come over the crest for what is officially turn 1. You're going to want to spot your braking point at roughly about 100 metres coming. This is a double apex corner here. Through, gets the power down nicely coming out of there. Into this another 90-degree right. Quite nice and smooth through there. Now a fast right-hander, a slight lift, catches the inside curve just enough. Misses the apex by just a smidge there, but doesn't affect the speed he's carrying. Now this is an extremely difficult corner. It is completely blind, but he nails it through there, heading up the hill. Over another blind crest into the corkscrew. The tight left and the track completely falls away. The car will bottom out across there if any setups are running too low. Down through the final right-hander on the circuit. Deals with that nicely. He's going to want to find his braking point here. Easy to run straight on. But gets a good exit. C. Fogarty goes fastest with an 8.4, but Gunnar Gamble smashes that, and Kiwi Lad smashes it directly behind him with a 1:07.1, so this is an extremely short lap, as we know. Jake on a lap, is he? Rob Noxious has his lap time validated, and Kaiser goes faster than anyone, a 1:05.8. 1.2 seconds clear of the field currently. 6 minutes remaining in the session. Let's take a look at how Jake gets on. He comes across the line, 15 flat, not been a good opening lap. I'm sure this is going to be his flying lap. The braking boards are gone on the right hand side of the first corner. That's going to make it extremely difficult. Jake is wide at the first corner. Hopefully he'll be able to carry enough speed out into the rest of the lap. Gets a little bit onto the dirt there, that's not ideal, but carries a lot of speed. He's 0.089 up at that first split. Through the left, Kiwi Lad and Gunnar Gamble have both gone faster, 6.6 and a 6.9 respectively. Through the blind left goes Jake all the way up the hill. Only 4 litres of fuel left. That will be enough to reach the end. 5.8 seconds up on his personal best now, so clearly a mistake made in that middle sector on his first attempt. A nice line through there, keeps it flat, lots of commitment. Through the right, misses that apex, gets on the gravel again. Into the final corner, hits the apex, you want to go on the power, nice and early through there. Out, onto the start-finish straight, and he goes 7.7 seconds quicker. It's a 1:07.5 to go ahead of Tierney and FN Liu. Neen is 7th, Fogarty is 8th, the Pretender 9th, and Igor rounds out in the top 10 in the number 22 in the Pagano car. He's got a lot of fuel on board actually, 10 litres, so with 5 minutes to go in this session already, we're halfway through. It is looking fairly close with the cars that have set a representative lap time at the top. Well, from second place down, between only about 3 seconds covering that, which isn't too bad. Kaiser out on a lap. Let's ride on board with him. We'll go with visor cam. Through the right. Flat through there. Clearly high wing setup definitely being run. He's a 10.5 down on his own best though. It's not ideal. Up he comes into the blind. You can really appreciate just how blind that corner is, but he's fully committed through there. Up the hill, there's a little bit of traffic up ahead. Let's hope that doesn't impede him at all. Through the right. Oh, the Chip Ganassi driver really throwing it through there, using all the road available. And again, he's got to nail these last 2 corners. Oh, he's run wide. Oh, possibly the traffic put him off. I'm not sure there. But he's made an error. Kiwi Lad has spun at the exit of the corkscrew. Whoa, and there's traffic coming through. Gunnar Gamble forced to avoid him. What is going on here? Past goes another car. I think that's C. Fogarty in that one. But the Kaiser did not improve. He's got fuel for another lap. I think he'll go for it, but there's not a lot of time left in the session. So down to first at the first corner, up to second quickly for the short shift, third, fourth, fifth then for turn 3. Under the Cooper Tyres bridge, it's then the quick turn 4 for him once again. What is split time like now? We're not sure. It's not actually offering us one. There's a spinner up ahead. Lots of traffic at the moment. Of course, this being a very short lap means that a lot of traffic ends up getting in the way. Oh, huge slide through there. And he backs out of that. Clearly felt like he lost too much time. This is Kiwi Lad, who appears to be on a run at the moment. Yep, there he is in the yellow Penske number 3 car. Kiwi Lad, of course, picking up second place at the Toyota Grand Prix at Long Beach there at round 1. He's 2 tenths up. He's going to need a lot more time if he's going to challenge Kaiser for the pole position. But currently on a pretty huge slide through the final corner. That's not going to help him at all. He's got fuel for another run. He ends up 4 tenths off. Gunnar Gamble, what's he up to there in the AJ Foyt car, I believe that is. Oh, he spins at turn 3. He's in Jake in the Chip Ganassi car as well, the Gallagher car. What can he put together? He's got traffic up ahead. I'm not sure who that is, but it's not ideal for him, and he backs out of it. Clearly felt like he would be impeded too much. Backs out of it entirely, in fact. Lets the traffic through. Not sure who that is. It's another Ganassi car. And he's on his on a cool down lap. We're going to look at a lag here. Hopefully that's not Rob Noxious there in P6 at the moment. Oh, he goes, well, with no idea where he's going, actually. That's yeah, for some reason we've got awful connection at the moment, so that's not ideal. But with 10 seconds left in the session, what can anyone do? Can anyone challenge the Kaiser for pole position? Well, not Jake if he's going to do that. Jake down to P6. Qualifying is complete. Anyone on a lap at all? Kiwi Lad does appear to be, but he's got a lot of fuel on board. He's 700th down. Up the hill he comes then. Traffic gets out of the way. Through the blind, left. Oh, he runs a little wide. That's going to cost him some time. He's still 8 tenths down on the Kaiser, and he's further down on his own time. That's not what he's going to want to see. Through the corkscrew he comes. He's going to need something absolutely magical in the final sector just to improve here. But what can he do? Through the final left-hander, doesn't look to be able to challenge, and he comes across the line. It's a minor improvement, but he remains 8 tenths down, and by the looks of things, that is how qualifying will line up. FN Lou not on a lap, and nor is Noah in the number 5 SPM car. So there's your order. We'll just wait for the qualifying timer to tick down. It's a pretty spread out field overall, but if we look at the gaps from sort of P2 downwards, we're fairly close. There are a few pockets of close competition there. So there is your order. The amount of time Kaiser gains in that first sector appears to be what's making the difference there, as he is 6 tenths clear of Kiwi Lad, his next closest contender. So it's the Kaiser MSC on pole in the Chip Ganassi car, ahead of Kiwi Lad in the Penske. It's then Gunnar Gamble, Rob Noxious, FN Lou, Big Kid Daddy in P6, C Fogarty in P7. Last time's winner, Jake, is P8. I don't think he'll be too pleased with that. Tier Nizzle is P9. It's SCR Dan, the last in the top 10. It's then Igor, Neen, Pretender, Noah Roivers, and I didn't quite catch who was at the end. It's K and Marcos. So they're lining up on the grid. It's 55 laps. The weather progression that was scheduled for this race is hazy, and it's going to go into light cloud. Heavy cloud. So the track should cool down as the race progresses, which is extremely important because out in the Californian desert in April, it is extremely warm. And that has a big effect on the tyre life on these cars. The white-walled primary tyre is the most likely choice for a lot of these guys, I think. It's not particularly grippy, but it is much more durable than the red-walled alternate, and the alternate will not last enough time in the race to make it worthwhile. Strategy-wise, in regards to that, I think it's a two-stop race. The fuel tank on these cars lasts roughly 20 laps at this circuit, and with 55 laps in the race, it will not be possible to do a one-stop with that fuel size. So 2 stops will be required, but it is when those stops will come that I think will make the difference in this race, as it is extremely difficult to pass on track here. And we're just waiting now. The drivers selecting their strategies, making any last-minute setup changes they might feel necessary before we head out on the formation lap. There we are then. Looks like red tyres for a lot of the guys here. Let's just look down the field. Reds for the top 3. Away they go from the grid then. The Kaiser MSC leads the drivers away. And it looks to be red tyres on the majority of the grid. Red tyres for the first stint at least, so is it possible that we will be having shorter first stints, lower fuel, earlier pit stops, and then go longer in the second and third? We'll have to wait and see. In the Andretti car, one of 3 on the grid, alongside K and Tier Nizzle. As you can see, It's hazy conditions to start off with. FN Lou in the Ed Carpenter car. Now then, it's all going to be about this start, I think, because really the two main overtaking opportunities at this circuit are into the final corner and into the first corner. They're the two sort of big, heavy braking zones. The corkscrew is technically possible, but the switchback nature of it makes it extremely difficult, especially with how tight it is. So, who is going to get the start as we're lining up for 54 laps of racing at Laguna Seca? Away they go, and the Kaiser seems to get the jump on Kiwi Lad as they head down the hill, looking further back. Gunnar Gamble goes for the move on the inside of Kiwi Lad. Kiwi Lad outbrakes himself. Lots of cars outbrake themselves. Rob Noxious runs wide as well. He's lost a lot of speed and time. Fogarty up into P5, followed by Jake into P6. Tiernizl is 7th. Noah up to 8th. Igor there in 9th, with Rob Noxious passing him there. Actually, STR Dan is 11th, Neen P12, but back at the front, the Kaiser, 1.3 seconds clear already. He absolutely nailed that start. Gunnar Gamble getting a good start as well to get up the inside of Kiwi Lad and force him wide. A couple of cars running off there, but Kiwi Lad coming under some pressure from FN Lou early on, and he is going to want to be defending that place as hard as he can. Fogarty appears to have gone off somewhere as he's dropped down to P10. Igor and STR Dan also a long way down. But Rob Noxious losing out a lot. Oh, and FN Lou gets on the grass and spins out, as does Jake. And that is going to hurt them a lot. FN Lou actually only losing one position, but a lot of time, and that will overheat their tyres spinning like that. And tyre temperature is an extremely sensitive thing at this circuit with such high track temperatures. It is really important that they stay on top of the tyre life. So the Kaiser, 3 seconds clear already at the front. Gunnar Gamble and Kiwi Lad together, and Tiernizl made a bit of an error, possibly in the number 28 DHL Motorsport car. FN Lou, he's going to want to make amends for that mistake pretty quickly. Noah Roivers, P6. With Rob Noxious gaining a couple of places from those mistakes after his first corner problems, but he runs a little wide there. They're going to need to stay on top of that, all these drivers in fact, both from a track limits perspective and just from a pace and tyre wear perspective, because running on that dirt and dust the whole time is not going to help tyre wear. Big Kid Daddy, P9. So, decent start for him in the Chevrolet. The Ed Carpenter, the second of the Ed Carpenter cars. Pretender also in an Ed Carpenter. Yep. Jake in P11. It's going to be a recovery drive for last time's winner. Not looking to have the pace or the composure so far. An early mistake and a lacklustre qualifying performance, but we'll see how he gets on. Being closely followed by Neen in P12. SCR Dan. P13, K back in P14, some 56 seconds down in the 27, the Snapple Andretti car, Marcos and Igor. Igor already a lap down actually, I think. But there is the race leader in the number 9 target car. It is the Kaiser MSC. Already 7 seconds clear of Kiwi Lad. We've been racing for just, well, 3 laps now, which is quite incredible, the pace advantage he seems to have. He does a 1:08.8 on that lap. Let's see what time Kiwi Lad can do. It is a 1:09.3, so half a second advantage. Gunnar Gamble with a 1:09.9, and Tiernizl actually with a 1:09.9 as well, so pretty evenly matched between 3rd and 4th, and then quite a big drop off to the rest of the field. Of the cars in the midfield, it is Jake who's fastest currently. Oh, a lot of understeer for Tiernizl there. And as we're seeing the effects of dirty air and the narrow nature of the circuit having their effect, as The car's generally in a line. No major overtaking opportunities right now. Oh, Noah Roivers runs straight off the circuit at the blind left, and that's going to allow Rob Noxious up into P6 and Steve Fogarty up into P7. Noah dropping down to P8 now, leaving the two Schmidt-Peterson Motorsport cars 7th and 8th. Oh, and he's done it again. A lot of understeer for Noah Roivers. Has he got damage there, actually, or possibly on the end plate? If we can go on board with him. I don't know. He's getting a lot of understeer, though. I think he must have a problem. There must be damage on that car. Jake goes through now as well, but he hasn't come into the pit, so not really sure what's going on there. Taking a look at the take a look at his telemetry. Not slowing for the corners very well at all, and he's going to have Mean and Pretender on the back of him very, very soon. The cars ahead have pulled away already. A lot of understeer for a lot of cars, though. It seems the dirty are really having an effect. Of course, the aero kits on the Dallara DW12 were extremely downforce dependent, and the effect of dirty air was one that was lambasted really by drivers and fans alike, which led to the changes for this season to a much more mechanical grip dependent aero kit. But of course on this game only the DW12 available. Oh, and a car is off. Is that Jake? It is. That's the second mistake he's made at turn 9 so far this race, and that has dropped him back down to P12, and he was just making a little bit of progress. He is having an absolute mare. Igor goes through, but immediately gets back out the way again. Doesn't want to impede the faster cars. But this race goes from bad to worse for Jake there. Down to P12, and after the highs of winning in Long Beach, he's come just north in California to Laguna Seca, and his fortunes have turned. He's in the wall, front wing off. That's going to be major suspension damage as well. The Chip Ganassi driver, championship leader after the first round, of course, having an absolute nightmare. Back with the battle. Noah appears to have got on top of his understeer problem. Despite losing the time, Biggie Daddy has... Oh, I say that, he's understeering a lot of the corkscrew, actually, and Neen is right on the back of him. I'm definitely convinced that Schmidt-Peterson car has got a lot of damage, because it should not be understeering like that. I'm not sure whether it's aero damage or mechanical damage. So a huge gulf between the top three cars. Bring up a good point, actually. Yeah, there is an awful lot of dirt on the circuit from the cars going off, and as they keep dirtying up the circuit, they're just going to keep understeering more, as that proves there. You can see the enormous brown smudges on the circuit. However, I would say there does seem to be a big problem with Noah's car. He's got a lot of understeer, a lot of lock at every corner. Very cautious through there now, having made a couple of mistakes at that corner. Jake in the pit, so he's going to be getting damage, repairs, and a fresh set of tyres, as well as a tank of fuel, I'd imagine. Unless he's completely retired, which may be the case. Let's take a look. The closest cars at the moment, still Neen and Noah, the battle for P8. Lock up for Neen as he runs on. Misses the apex a touch at the second to last corner. We are down to 15 cars in this race. Right up behind is Pretender as well in the number 6 car, and oh, he lifted off quite a lot there. I thought he might have had a run. coming out of that corner, but apparently not. He's going to take it easy. Oh, a lot of understeer for Neen. He's going to hit the gravel just on the outside. Is there anything he can do? He backs out, doesn't commit to it at the blind left. That's interesting. Opting to possibly play the long game. Looking at the last laps, Kiwi actually appears to have a slight advantage now over the Kaiser. The gap is not extending all that much, and he was a touch faster that lap. And in comes Noah. Now it is quite a long pit lane here, of course 60 kilometers an hour, but it runs all the way down and takes a different route at the first corner. So let's see, Noah, I imagine he's got a lot of fuel left, so possibly no fuel going in. I think it takes roughly 7 to 9 seconds for the tyres to change. It says he's going onto a set of reds. Let's see. It says 70 litres. Now Jake is back out actually. Running wide at that corner again, but he's not packing it in just yet. Noah out of the pits then. He's got a full tank of fuel and a fresh set of reds on. That's interesting. He's going to cut right alongside Kay in the 27 Snapple Andretti Autosport car. He does get out in front of him though, and I feel like Noah should have the pace on K-Slate with the dirty air as well as fresh tyres. Well, he does have more fuel, so let's take a look. Fuel, of course, a big factor for these cars. The amount of weight on board is extremely important, and actually it's looking like Kay might have the pace. Oh, I say that, he's in dirty air, then he's going to run off the circuit. But Kay with a 110.0 actually, which is on pace with the top drivers. 110 flat. Kaiser with a 1.8.7, Q with a 1.9.3, but then Tiernizzel with a 10.1. Obnoxious in P4 with Big Kid Daddy in P5. It's Tiernizzel in P3 and Kiwi in P2. 9 seconds and then 18 seconds back, so huge gaps between the top 4 now. Of course, the driver we've lost actually is Gunnar Gamble. Didn't actually see what's happened to him. He was in P3. I noticed he only had 15 drivers, but I didn't see if he disconnected or if he's crashed out of the race. I think it's a disconnect because he's not appearing on the thing anymore. So that's unfortunate for him, being in such a strong position. There's a car off. Who is that? That is... It's not Kiwi. Who is that? It is... Oh, well, Pretender's lost the right end of his wing. I think... Oh, it was K-Slay who'd gone off there. Jake saying 109.5, so he is on the pace, but he is a lap down. And some. So he is going to really need something quite incredibly special to be salvaging anything better than last place here. Kiwi has got a penalty, and look at this now. So we have got the last car of K-Slate getting out of the way, but Big Kid Daddy and FN Lou in the Ed Carpenter cars running nose to tail here. And can FN Lou do anything? He's 1.4 seconds faster that last lap, so he is looking like the faster car, and yes, he blast past. I don't know. That's interesting actually, that Big Kid Daddy not using full throttle, so potentially a little bit of team orders there. Knowing that FN Lou was the faster car, and not fighting him too much at a circuit where it is very difficult to overtake, very narrow and lots of corners one after another. So FN Lou is left to try and close down some of that 15-second gap to Tiernizzel in 3rd place. taking a look down the field as well. We now have Steve Fogarty right on the back of Neen, and he was 1.6 seconds faster that last lap. He clearly has the pace on the Frenchman as they head towards the corkscrew. Oh, Neen goes straight on. He cuts back across the circuit, and there's enormous contact. There's nowhere for Fogarty to go. Neen understeering off the circuit, careers across the dirt on the inside of the corkscrew. Absolutely no grip out there, and with the way the road runs, there was absolutely nowhere left for Fogarty to go. Surprised that Neen doesn't have quite significant damage from that. It's clear that Foggy does. And he even understeers straight into the wall, knocking the rest of that front wing off. He is going to be in the pits for a while. And let's see then, Noah has made his stop. Will pass C40 in the pits almost certainly. Lots of understeer at that final corner. But look at that, Noah there in P9, only a few seconds ahead of Tierney, who's in third. It's the spread across the field is quite incredible. Mostly, I imagine, from the crashes these people are having, because I don't think the pace deficit between these people is that bad. Again, Neen does the same thing. He's not learnt his lesson from the last time. Brakes too late, goes straight across the grass. Well, the dirt it is here. And that is going to keep dragging more and more dirt onto the circuit, and more people are going to keep making that mistake. It's a vicious circle here at Laguna Seca. He stays out, though. Big Kick Daddy lost as is about now 2 seconds behind FN Lou. He's sort of significant margin slower, and Rob Noxious is actually catching, and he was half a second faster that last lap, so he might be next in line to take that position from Big Kid Daddy. Now, it's interesting that these alternate tyres are still holding up for these guys, actually. I would have thought that they maybe would really start to get on in terms of grip now. 15 laps running on what is traditionally a qualifying tyre. And I should think that those who are intending to run out their fuel tanks will be pitting in roughly 7 or 8 laps, I should think, actually, looking at the taking into account fuel wear, fuel usage and tyre wear. Here we're going to ride with the Kaiser as he is now attempting to lap a couple of cars. Not sure who that is. That is C. Fogarty, actually, who's actually been in for his pit stop. Jake is confirmed retired from the race. He is out. Fogarty gets out the way dutifully at the first corner. No real challenge for the top, for the top 3, and quickly becoming the top 4 without challenge now. But Rob Noxious chasing down Big Kid Daddy. 6 tenths faster again that lap, and 2.5 seconds faster than Neen, the car behind. So as the fuel burns off and the tyres wear, Rob Noxious seems to have some good pace right now. Possibly having managed his tyres better early on than Big Kid Daddy, maybe. Not sure. Or he might just be a bit more adept at driving on a race trim car, in a race trim car. He understeers flat off the circuit, so he recovers alright though, and continues. He was another 8 tenths faster that last lap. Up the hill he comes then, towards the corkscrew. It's right on board with him, comes down the hill. You can see his target up ahead. Big lift through there in race trim, of course. very, very smooth. He's got, as you can see on his telemetry there, he's got 8 uses of the push to pass left. Of course, push to pass lasting a designated amount of time in the race. Project Cars that's implemented in uses. Rob Notch is actually a little slower that last lap. Ended up 10.3 with Big Kid Daddy managing a 10.2. So possibly tyres getting a little bit too worn to keep pushing at that rate. But looking back, SDR Dan is currently 1.5 seconds a lap faster than Neen. So, actually 6/10. He didn't quite cross the line, but still quite a big advantage there for SDR Dan. So he could be challenging for P7 soon. Again, definitely closing in now is Rob Notchus. But he's going to soon be getting into that window behind the car in front where dirty air starts to take its toll. Car will start sliding, and Tia Nizzle is into the pits. A lot of understeer for Big Kid Daddy at the final corner. Let's take a look quickly actually at what Tia Nizzle is going to take on. He's got a full tank of fuel and another set of alternates. Now, I don't always trust the Project Cars spectator cam, so it's not 100% confirmed what tyre compound they're on. But away he goes again, down this pit lane, through this alternate turn 1, and rejoins the track in P6, clear of Neen and behind Rob Notchus by quite a way. So he has got some clear air to work with now. Obviously it was a big gap to Kiwi Lad ahead, but he can always make up time and use that later on in the race. Looking back at it, oh, Rob Notchus gets caught on the gravel just as we rejoin him. As they head towards the corkscrew once again. Looks to be a little bit of understeer for Big Kid Daddy ahead. And he is visually closer this time. Looking at the split, it's about half a second gap now. Neither car looking to pit just yet. A tight line taken by Big Kid Daddy, going defensive despite Rob Notchus being quite a way back. Oh, Big Kid Daddy brakes very early in comparison to Rob Notchus. He almost hits the back of the Ed Carpenter car. And I think now is when this will really heat up. We'll go trackside as they run through turn 4. He's having to lift off the dirty air, clearly taking effect. He gets caught on the gravel again. There they come, and coming up behind them, I think that's actually a lapped car. Yeah. But Rob Notchus, he's got 6 uses of the push to pass left, so he's used 2 so far. Used 2 more since we last checked so far. But he is really going to need some miracle to pass here, because despite his pace advantage, it is not easy. This track is not ideal for these cars, as we are finding out. Down the hill they come once again. Whoa, and off goes Rob Notchus. He's lost the rear end coming out of turns 2 and 3, and he's hit the wall. I imagine that will have done some damage, and with 10 litres of fuel left in the car, he will be coming in this lap. But that is an absolute disaster. His pace was looking good. He was looking like a contender for a solid finish. Alas, that has gone away from him. Out come the pit crew for Kiwi Lads. Number 3 Penske car. Tyres being changed by the looks of things. Doesn't take a full tank, 63 litres. And he is on his way once again. FNLU will pass him, but of course he is out of sync. He's only got 8 litres of fuel left, but he should be flying right now. If his tyres are still in good nick, he should be flying ready to progress up the field later on. It is all about strategy here, because as we've seen, on-track passes are almost non-existent. It really is about making the most of a circuit when it's clear, utilising low fuel. Oh, a lot of understeer for FN Lou through the blind left though, as he heads up towards the corkscrew once more. Through the left, and then the right. Track falls away from him, powers down the hill. The Kaiser with a 31.6 last lap. He has pit as well. He has taken on a full tank, 70 litres, and a fresh set of reds. And in comes FN Lou. So Kaiser with the absolute dominance. By the time P2 is in the pits, he's already out and on his way. Oh, and a lot of impeding going on. It looks like Kiwi Lad held up there by, I think that is Marcos in that car there. No, that is Neem, sorry. Yeah, there we go. So that's not ideal for him. It's a full tank and a set of reds for FN Lou. Tierney passes as well. Big Kid Daddy yet to stop, of course. 6.4 litres left in the car, so he'll be coming in this lap as well. And so Tierney quite a long way clear of FN Lou, actually. Looking like the positions are pretty set, barring any major mistakes from any of these guys. Noah in P7, Rob Noxious is going to be on a recovery drive there in P8 with a full tank of fuel. He has made his stop. Doesn't look like they needed to repair any damage though, because while he has lost some time, it's not massive. Looking at Markov running in P10 currently. Oh, in the Penske, the silver Penske car, the number 12, the willpower car. He is yet to make his stop, so he'll be coming in. It's interesting that these guys are pushing the fuel stint so far. I'm not... I was informed it would... Well, I mean, anyone running 2 sets of reds will have to come in, because I believe the rules are you do have to run different compounds. Well, that's the rule in IndyCar anyway. I'm not entirely sure if it's upheld in Project Cars. Big Kid Daddy has made his stop. A full 70 litres on board his car as well. And the order is resumed as normal. Noah up to P6, SCR Dan, P7, Rob Noxious P8, Neems P9, Marcos yet to stop still. It's Pretender in P11, Igor is P12, C Fogarty after that crash with Neen early on, P13, and Caslow sticking it out in P14. So Kaiser a second a lap faster than Kiwi the last lap. Oh, and Kiwi has actually gone off. Coming through the left-hander after the corkscrew. Can't actually remember what that corner's called. He has gone off and loses more time to the leader. And really, this is Kaiser's to lose by miles, but he really is going to have to make some catastrophic errors to be losing this one. Here, SCR Dan and Marcos both in the pits. SCR Dan takes on a full tank. Marcos not quite, 62 litres going on into that car. He's not pulled away. Oh, there we go, yeah, though the full 70 is on board. Fogarty passes him, as does Igor. They won't get STR Dan though, he will make it out. Taking a look, the field is pretty spread out now after that round of pit stops. Now, actually, interestingly, Kiwi's mistakes have cost him a lot of time. Oh, again! Neen gets in the way at the last corner. It's Tierney that is the victim this time. But with those mistakes that that Kiwi is making, it's allowing Tierney to catch up, and he is coming close to grabbing that P2. I mean, look at the times. It's a 108.6 for Kaiser and a 20.2 for Kiwi. I'm not sure if he's got damage. He's running off everywhere. I don't know if that's the dirt on the circuit or if he has some damage or if he's just lost his focus a little bit. And he's got cars attempting to unlap him. And Tierney is closing in now. 2 seconds, the gap. Can the American driver take P2 away? Can the Andretti car topple the Penske for the second place position? It's going to be interesting to see. This lap looks to have been a little better from Kiwi though. Let's see how he gets on. 2.3, 2.4 the gap at the line, I think. It's an 11 flat. It's a 10.2. I was wrong. Not ideal for Kiwi Lad at all. I don't think that K-Slay's Andretti car getting in the way particularly helped Tierney either. But we'll have to see. Lap 27 of 55, so just about half distance. If we briefly take a look at the timings, we can see, I mean, yeah, Kaiser's best lap is 6/10 clear of the next best, and the second clear of the second place car, so really, he is miles in front. In qualifying, it was all in the first sector that Kaiser made up his time, just reading the chat, so I think it is all there. I mean, he was about even in the second and only a couple of tenths faster in the final, so it was all in this first sector. But looking at the gap, I think Tierney's all... If Kiwi Lad can get on top of those mistakes, I think he should have the pace advantage over Tierney, but there's no guarantee. Let's ride on board with Kaiser actually and just see how he gets on with this Laguna Seca circuit, looking at someone who is absolutely dominating this race so far. Up the hill he comes then, and it's through this blind left. Now that's interesting, he went from 5th, he went from 6th gear directly to 4th, through into that left-hander there. Oh, doesn't get the best run through the corkscrew corner there. Tierney's at 11.3 last lap, and FN Lua 10.1, just looking at the time, so that is not ideal. So let's take a look at Kaiser's first sector. This is where he makes up all his time. It's a 10.6 that lap, so not his fastest time. He brakes incredibly late, down to first gear, straight up into second. Feeds the power in, up to third, fourth. Straight down to third, hits that apex nicely, gets on the power early. Powers out. Holds it in 5th gear through turn 5. Sorry, turn 4. Then it's through turn 5. Turn 6, there's a little understeer up the hill, and then it's into the corkscrew. Gets a better run that lap through this corner. Is called Rainy Curve. How could I forget the legendary MotoGP champion Wayne Rainey? That's his corner. Through the right-hander and then towards the final left, and that is a lap, proper lap of how to do Laguna Seca with the race leader. Absolute dominance from him so far. He has lapped everyone up to P5, I believe. So 108.9 for him. And he's got all his push to passes left. He's had no reason to use them. Tierney has lost time to Kiwi Lad once again. FN Lou not catching him now. Big Daddy having a decent showing, his pace looking good. Got a bit of traffic up ahead, I think that's Marcos there, but Marcos is actually not that much slower, so we might have a bit of trouble getting through. Where is Kaiser in comparison to these guys? So he has lapped P5, sorry, so he's P4. FN Lewis next target. So the prediction that he'll lap the field might actually come to be, because his pace is quite incredible. .3 seconds faster than Kiwi Lad. Well, I say that lap, he's actually crossed the line. We've got to wait a while before Kiwi Lad actually crosses the line. That's a big lift into there. Lifting and coasting from Kiwi Lad. Not sure. Is he planning to save fuel, try and do the one stop? That would be very interesting if he were. Let's take a look at his pace this lap. I'm not sure if he's been doing that the whole time. A 1.3 second deficit, not really that unusual for this race, it would seem. So at that time, he crosses the line. It's a 13.1, so either he's made a mistake or he is now lifting and coasting. Doesn't seem to be pushing that hard. It's a 10.9 from Tierney, so the gap down to 4 seconds, 3.9 really. But looking at it, Tierney has got a little bit less fuel, but I don't know if that's the result of the fuel saving Kiwi Lad is doing now, or if... No, I think that was just a poor lap from him, that last lap, because the gap opening back up again now. The cars are close together. Rob Noxious now right on the back of Noah Roivers. As this is for P6. Rob with 5 push-to-pass uses left. Noah with all 10. Noah not using any at all, but Noah's got 4 litres of fuel left. So if Rob Noxious doesn't do this on track, he most certainly will do it when Noah is forced into the pits. He doesn't opt to try and outbrake him into the Andretti hairpin. But he does look for the hook up the inside. No, nothing comes of that there. But Noah is going to have to stop. Only 3 litres of fuel left, and this is... Well, I'm not actually sure what the usage is on these cars at this circuit, but I feel like it's fairly high. And Noah should make it to the end of this lap okay, but he will have to stop. If he doesn't, he will run out of fuel, and that will be the end of his race, which would be a crying shame. FN Lou in the pits. On to another set of reds. There are 23 laps to go, so he can make it to the end, I think, on that tank. I think he can just stretch it to 23 laps. And in comes Noah, of course, with 1.9 litres left, and Rob, of course, stays out with 37 remaining in his tank. So... Noah, I imagine, will also be attempting to go to the end of the race. He's got 10 uses of his push-to-pass left. Surprised that he hasn't used any so far this race. So the number 5 Schmidt-Peterson car comes into the pits for a fresh set of tyres and a tank of fuel. Yep, a full tank, 70 litres goes into that car. Pretender is in as well. Fogarty should get in front. Neen also, of course, though. These guys will have to stop again. I think anyone, unless they've got a significant amount of fuel, is going to struggle to make it to the end. Kaiser now 40 seconds clear at the front of Kiwi Lad, who in turn is now about 5 seconds clear of Tierney. So positions in the top 5 looking pretty set at the moment, barring any major errors from those guys. But when you're in the top 5 of a race like this, errors are few and far between. So I am not betting on any errors being made. Now, of course, Rob Noxious yet to stop, yet to make his second stop, and fuel up to go to the end. But he is quite close to the back of FN Lou, as you can see. About 2.5 seconds the gap, and he has less fuel on board, so he should in theory be the faster car. Down to 3rd for that, up to 4th again. Through the corkscrew he comes. Certainly he's got the pace on the Ed Carpenter car in front of him, I'd say, thanks to that low fuel, the full tank in the number 20, whereas much less aboard the number 18, the Dale Coyne car, that is. Now, oh, and who is that? Someone has just dropped it at that. I think that is STR Dan. Yes, he spins at the Andretti hairpin, right in front of FN Lou, actually. So that will not have helped his run out of there. And Rob Noxious 7 tenths faster than FN Lou that lap. So what can he do before his stop? Will he want to waste tyres and time trying to pass the Ed Carpenter car, or will he just sit behind, wait for the stop? Oh, it's a double lock up into the corkscrew for him there. That will not help. Oh, cuts the second part quite heavily, ruins his run. And that is going to cost him a bit of time coming out of there. Take a look. Now, looking at the pace, it would seem that the results or the running order aren't quite reflecting the pace of a lot of these guys at the moment. So, if you can see, sort of faster lap times from guys a little further down the field, showing that possibly without some incidents they could have the potential to be further up in this race, be fighting for some slightly more solid points. It is what it is. Sometimes it doesn't go well for everybody, and at a circuit like this, a very unforgiving circuit, there's no runoff. There's the tiniest bit of tarmac on the edge of some of the corners, but it's mostly dust and dirt straight into a wall. All the walls very close here. An old-fashioned racing circuit, this one, leaving little room for error as the Pretender is stopped. He will have 20 laps to the end. I think that will be enough to go to the end. Now, if we look, the Kaiser has lapped everyone except the podium. Now, I mean, his pace has been absolutely unparalleled. And his dominance is fully deserved. There is absolutely nothing, there is no answer from anyone here. As he comes across the line to start lap 39. His consistency as well has been absolutely stunning. Bar the odd mistake, he has been in the high 8s, low 9s all race long. I mean, there's not really much more you can ask for. It's blistering pace, and it's blistering pace every lap. The other drivers may well have to wait until the next round, well, it'll be round 3. It'll be the third race of the calendar, coming live from Texas Motor Speedway. It'll be the first oval round of the season. and it will be absolutely fascinating to see how these drivers deal with that. Of course, all of them used to circuit racing, but oval racing is a whole new kettle of fish for a lot of these drivers. Requires a completely different skill set, a completely different style of racing. And we will have qualification for that live at 8 PM next week, before the race 1 week later, as qualification for oval races cannot be done in the same format as it is on road courses. It is instead done as a 3-lap shootout, one car at a time. And the running order can always be completely flipped when we get to an oval. Of course, that round will then be followed by the round at the Daytona road course. A return to circuit, to road course racing. But, of course, with the oval part included. Oh, as Kaiser makes a rare error. Locks up, goes straight over the corkscrew. That is not ideal. Taking a quick look. Whoa! Neen runs off the circuit. Marcos passes. I just saw that the deltas close right up. Neen runs off the track and Marcos passes him extremely close. Marcos up to P7 now, but he will have to stop, I think. 25 litres will not get him 17 laps. And I think that you'll want to come in pretty much as late as possible. Use that low fuel pace. Neen is in. 16 litres remaining in the tank, but with 17 laps to go, he's opted to come in now. Possibly thinking about an undercut on the fresh tyres. We've seen that staying out longer seems to be the way to go. But, of course, no guarantees. Out he goes again. A full tank, interesting, despite the fact there's only 17 laps left to go, or 16 now, as he gets double lapped by Kaiser. Oh no, sorry. By Kiwi is being lapped by there, as C. Fogarty gets out the way. A little late there for Kiwi Lad, but it's okay. Tiernizzel a long way off the back now, but he has stopped again. So, he will be going to the end. Kiwi Lad with 5.3, so he should be coming in at the end of this lap for his second stop to make it to the end of the race. Kiwi Lad makes a big mistake at the corkscrew. He's in the wall. And that was the type of big mistake I was talking about that the guys behind would need. Kiwi Lad will have to repair that damage at the pit stop. He's going to make his pit stop longer, and he's going to lose time on his outlap and his in-lap, as we're seeing now. He's off the circuit at the rainy curve. He's got cars coming up behind him. He's going to be absolutely no use at all. Who is that who's lapping him is the real question. So there's the Kaiser coming round to lap the field. That is it. I mean, of course, he does have to stop yet, but that is quite incredible. An absolute testament to Kaiser's pace and his composure, but that is simply stunning. I know it's a short lap. To lap an entire field in a pretty standard length race is pretty mind-blowing pace. Looking at Kiwi Lad, he is having to repair his car. He is dropping behind FN Lou. Big Kid Daddy promoting into P3, but he of course has to stop yet. And I feel like FN Lou might actually be on for a podium here. He's got fuel to go to the end. Kiwi Lad is a long way down, having made that damage. Oh wow, and Rob Noxious falls flat off the circuit. He actually had an opportunity to possibly pass Kiwi Lad on the start-finish straight. Oh, carnage as the Kaiser gets up the inside of, I think that was STR Dan, to lap him yet again. Big Daddy with 16 litres left. And here is FNLU coming up behind him. I shouldn't think there'll be much competition between the Ed Carpenter cars now. Now, as I was saying, the track temps should be cooling now a little bit, as we can see the cloud cover has come over. Gone is the haze of earlier. No rain scheduled, but heavy clouds above. And the Kaiser should be coming in now this lap with 10 laps to go. Oh, 11 laps to go, sorry. In he comes, hits his marks. And in he comes. Stops in the right place. It'll be a fresh set of tyres. I should think it'll only be 30 or so, 40, maybe 50 litres of fuel on board. How much is it? Yep, 50, there it is. Not a full tank. Here comes Tiernizzel, and Tiernizzel unlaps himself. So I think possibly he won't get the full field lapped, but he will certainly have all but one, and that is pretty impressive in itself. I mean, there is nothing you can really say to argue with a performance like this from the Kaiser, and after his third place in at Long Beach, a win here firmly cements him as a championship contender, as the two who finished in front, Jake and Kiwi Lad, have made big errors here this evening. And it is performances like this that are required to win championships. .55 seconds the gap between them now, so it's about 18 seconds to put a lap on the whole field. I don't think he'll really manage that, but we will have to see. Let's take a look at the deltas. Anyone battling at the moment? Marcos is close to the back of C. Fogarty. He's recovered to 8th place. Oh, he gets a little done in. Noah and Rob Noxious says pit. Has he retired completely, or is he just in the pits? No, I think he has... out he goes. Okay, so he has just stopped. That was a scheduled stop, that's fine. Noah up to P6, and C. Fogarty into P7. That's been a good recovery drive from him, and Marcos as well. A good effort up to P8. Kiwi Lad looked pretty solid for P2 for the whole race, till that error at the corkscrew cost him dear. Big Kid Daddy, P4. He should drop to P5, I think, when he makes his stop. FNLU, a great drive from him so far as well. However, there are still 10 laps to go. Anything can happen. Let's see. The Kaiser, 6/10 quicker. He is catching, or rather pulling away from Tiernizzel. It could be possible, but we will really have to wait and see. Appears to be a bit of a battle. Marcos still holding on to the back of Fogarty. Fogarty, it's a very early apex, I've noticed. They're going into the Andretti hairpin. A lot of other drivers opting for a wider line, taking the later apex. Ooh, a lot of understeer for the Penske driver. Almost at full lock through turn 4. And again through turn 5. mean, the flow of this track is extremely pleasant, but the dirty air not helping anyone. Oh, and he gets on the gravel, and that might just be the end of his chance to snatch P7 away. Someone going very slowly through the corkscrew. Who is that? Is it FN Lou, I think, actually, yeah. Yeah, FN Lou running very slow through there, so a mistake from him, I think. Nothing to worry about too much for him. He's got about a 13-second buffer to the car behind. That means Big Kid Daddy, who is yet to stop for the final time. He must surely be coming in this lap, or he probably will run out of fuel next time. There he goes. So Kiwi will be promoted to P4. It's not too much consolation when he could have had P2. Would have been a crucial 40 points for him. But I don't think Noah will get... No, Noah's a long way away. He will not pick up P5 from Big Kid Daddy. It's 58 seconds the gap. Or 59 now, actually. There they are. That's how close they are. He can see second place in front of him. And it genuinely looks to be that Kaiser is going to lap the field. Of course, he is reigning AOR LMP2 Endurance Champion here on PS4, in the both in the teams and drivers aspect of that. So he is clearly proven, as well as being Janetta G40 Cup Champion for the Elite tier, so not without accolades to his name. And once again, proving his prowess by displaying an absolute masterclass here at Laguna Seca. And he comes round. There will be 50 laps at the end. 5 laps at the end of this race. At the end of this one. 5 laps to go at the end of this. Can he do it? Can he make an entire lap on the field? I mean, his speed has just been absolutely incredible. By far and away the class of the field this evening. There he is, you can see him, he's closing in. Just about to break the 1 minute barrier on the gap. As Tiernizl is going to come round to put a lap on Igor. In turn, the Kaiser is going to come round to put a lap on Tiernizl. It is quite incredible. Looking as Tiernizl runs off a little way. Queso is in the pits. Is that the end? Nope. Takes a full tank on, which is brave for the last, well, they've got 10 laps, but they're 6 laps down, so it's not quite that many. There's Tiernizl as he comes through turn 10. They head towards turn 11. I believe that is Noah up ahead. No, it's not Noah, sorry. Who is that? Oh, is it Igor? Oh, it is Igor, yeah, okay. Whoa, no, we don't want to do that. Kaiser with a gap of 1 minute to the car, well, that is technically behind him, but is actually in front. 3 laps to go at the end of this one. I don't know if Kaiser's maybe backed off just a little bit, sat behind Tierney. But while I do love a competitive race, there is a part of me that would love to see him lap the field. It would be an absolutely incredible display of dominance. Looking at the deltas actually while this is happening, there are some slightly smaller gaps between Fogarty, Noah and Marcos here. I don't know if anything is going to come of those at this late stage. Doesn't look to be the case. Oh, a lot of understeer from Marcos there. Whoa, big error from Tierney-Full opposite lock through turn 1, and he will have to get out of the way purely for the blue flag rule. There are 2.5 laps left in this race. Kaiser is now right on the back of Tierney-Full. Will Tierney-Full move aside, or will he try and hold on to his pride and not go a lap down to the race leader? Oh, a lot of understeer for both cars through there. Through the rainy curve once more. As the Kaiser comes across the line to start his penultimate lap of the race. Tierney not looking like moving at the moment. He's going to hold on to his lap. He's not going to give in. And it looks like Kaiser may well have just backed out of this. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, someone's smashing at the wall. I think that's Casey. Whoa, and there's a car round as well. Casey in the wall. Who is that? And Noah Roivers he was in P6. He must have tangled with the Andretti car of K. And that is an absolute disaster for him. He was driving a pretty solid race. He's got a heavily crabbing car now. And yeah, it looks like the Kaiser has given up. Marcos is in the pits. Oh, he's lost his front wing as well. There's been absolute carnage. Fogarty is going to take P6 and Rob Noxious is going to take P7. The Kaiser, yeah, backed out of that. Looks like he's not going to try and put a lap on the whole field. He's going to leave it at all but one. Unless Tierney makes a horrible error. Drops it at the corkscrew or something. Kaiser on his final lap now. There is absolutely nothing that can be taken away from him. He has driven a simply stunning race. Dominance like I've never really seen before in a sort of short format race. I've known victories of a lap over the field in the endurance series. Oh, and there it is! He's hit something. What has happened there, Tierney-Full? Someone was spun in the middle of the circuit. I think it was... Who was that? It was Noah trying to crawl back round. Tierney-Full hits him, possibly gets damaged, I'm not sure, but it's kind of, it doesn't matter now. It hasn't put him a lap down, and the Kaiser MSC comes across the line to win the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca race. An absolutely dominant display from him. Fantastic driving. It's going to be Tierney-Full in second, with FN Liu coming home in third. Donuts to celebrate the victory. Absolutely incredible driving. Yeah, agreed. I think had Nizzle adhered to blue flags, he would have taken the lap over the whole field. Here comes Nizzle round the final couple of corners. He's going to take P2. Big Kid Daddy is going to... Oh my word, what has happened? I didn't even realise. Is that Big Kid Daddy has ended up beating Kiwi Lad. I'm not sure what happened late on in the race there. FN Lou takes home a well-deserved third place. Fantastic driving from him. Donuts galore at the end of the race. Big Kid Daddy is 4th. It's Kiwi Lad in 5th. Fogarty takes home P6 with Rob Noxious managing 7th. And there you are, with a race time that is 8/10 faster than the next quickest, that being Kiwi Lad. The Kaiser MSC takes the win for Chip Ganassi Racing. It is Nizzle in 2nd in the Andretti Autosport car, with FN Lou in the Ed Carpenter Chevrolet in P3. Big Kid Daddy in the other Ed Carpenter in P4, so they'll be pleased with that result. Kiwi Lad in the Penske only manages 5th after that error in the mid part of the race. Fogarty recovers for P6 for Schmidt-Peterson, followed by the Dale Coyne of Rob Noxious. It's STR Dan in P8. The Penske of Marcos Moutinho is P9, and Igor's Pagano Menard car is P10. It's the other Andretti of Neen in P11, with the number 5 Schmidt-Peterson of Noah Roivers in P12. Behind them were Pretender in the Ed Carpenter and Kay in the other Andretti. The non-finishers were Gunnar Gamble in the Dale Coyne, who was looking strong, and Jake, who retired early on following those errors. So there you are. That was round 2 of the AOR IndyCar Tier 1 on PS4, live from the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. I hope you can join us again next week for the qualifying session at Texas Motor Speedway under the lights. But until then, I've been your commentator, H Racing Green. And until the next time, goodbye.